explain what we're going to be cooking today?
Today we are going to cook something that I haven't really named, but it is something akin to a quiche or an egg pie or stuffed eggs or something of the like. We can name it in a minute.
Yeah, I've just taken to calling it the loaded egg.
The loaded egg. Well, anyway, what we'll need, obviously, is eggs. And is the most important ingredient. It's about the only thing you cannot change in this. But you could probably use liquid eggs if you don't have, or egg whites.
Liquid egg?
Yeah, that comes in like a milk carton. And
Never heard of liquid egg before.
It's
That's
just
nuts now.
liquid eggs. Or you could use powdered eggs and make them liquid eggs and then use that.
I'm sorry, powdered.
So,
I have not been cooking at all for a while, but the term powder and liquid egg is foreign to me.
well, if you have ever been to camp, you've had liquid eggs. Or if you've ever been, I don't know, anywhere, any kind of an institution, maybe schools, or you've been in jail. Have you been in jail? They have liquid eggs in jail.
I have not been in jail.
Okay. Or maybe a mental institution or a hospital. They would probably have powdered eggs. Yes. And in light of the homesteading or the prepper movement, a lot of people actually have powdered eggs on their shelves. And this would be one way to use them instead of real eggs. But as a homesteader type-minded person, I prefer using eggs that have been laid by chickens. Yes, not by my chickens because I don't have chickens, but by a neighbor who I buy chicken eggs from.
Yes.
Okay. So, you will need eggs and pans. Or a pan. The fun thing about this is you can choose to make a small amount in a small pan.
Or you can make a large amount in a large pan.
But you will need a pan with a lid. That's important to make this. You need a pan with a lid. I suppose if you don't have a pan with a lid, you can pop them in your toaster oven and bake them like a cake, and it still might work. I don't know. Haven't tried that.
Well, that is assuming you have a toaster oven.
That's assuming you have a toaster oven, but you might have some kind of oven.
Some kind of
Solar oven.
If you don't have an oven, why are you watching cooking videos?
This is true. Maybe they have a campfire.
Maybe you're some sort of being who can create fire out of thin air. Maybe you are the oven.
If you are that being, you probably do not need an oven at all, but you will still need a pan, although you may not need a lid because you can just concentrate your power right around the pan. Okay.
That being said, if you are equipped with a toaster oven or are a fire being from out of this world, please keep watching.
Yes. Absolutely. Or an oven or a stove, which we're going to use the stove top method, which you can do also on a campfire. Okay. So, and you need eggs, you need some sort of vegetables, your favorite seasonings, you'll need oil of some kind. I have choices of butter or grapeseed oil at the moment. I also have coconut oil, which I'm not using today, but you can use, I usually add a little gluten-free flour. You can use any kind of flour, or you don't even have to use flour. It just makes the consistency of your eggs a little bit different. And I like cheese, so I will be using cheese today. You can also put in some kind of meat if you want to.
Meat-loaded breakfast egg.
Yes, this is really just kind of a all-purpose recipe. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to make it today, but really you can experiment with things that you like, and you might even experiment with some things you don't like, because sometimes it's really awesome the new flavors you get. I usually make mine with zucchini, but not a zucchini. So anyway, we'll get started cooking.
Seems like it's kind of interchangeable what you can make into the egg.
Yes, it's very interchangeable, which is great if you don't always know what's in your fridge before you start cooking. You can start grabbing things that look like they would go into eggs and work with whatever you have. So,
alright, step one.
Step 1. We might as well make the large. We'll make the large one today because we have a big family. We'll make a large amount of eggs. So the first thing you need to do is to put some sort of oil in the pan. You can use, like I said, grapeseed or whatever oil you have. I wouldn't use a strong flavored oil because it is breakfast. It will might compete with your flavors. I also like to use butter. I have a scissor here. I didn't grab a knife, but I have a scissor. Cut off a piece of butter.
Scissor the butter.
You can knife the butter if you have a knife, but I had a scissor. So, okay. I think we have brighter now. So now we are going to put this on our stove, right over here, and begin melting and heating up the oils. I have a propane stove, so I cook on actual fire. And I'm just gonna put that on a medium-low heat just to get it started.
Okay, for the next trick, we are going to chop stuff.
Chop stuff. Now I usually start with the onion. Would you prefer a white or purple onion today?
More of a white onion guy.
More of a white onion guy. Okay. Oops. Wow, this onion does not look happy. May have to be a red onion guy today. That one is not good.
Uh-oh.
It looked great on the outside, but on the inside it's not.
Do not worry, people. We are on our way to being professionals.
Any minute now. We are expecting the professional to arrive. Okay. Alright, we'll try this egg, this onion.
Very odd egg.
This onion has begun growing, so I don't know how much hope there is for it, except for we can use the green part. Cut into it and see what happens. That's not looking real promising. Peel away any bad parts and see what's left. One thing about an onion is sometimes you can peel down to a better part. Actually, this part looks pretty good. What? The center. The center looks fine. It's just this one layer next to the center. Strange thing about onions is you can poke out the bad parts. Well, or you can just cut and remove the bad layer, which might be easier than trying to poke it out. Not as much fun, mind you, but...
I've been affected by the onion.
Oh no! Did you get part of the splash? I am so sorry. You will want to rinse out your eyes with water, cool water. Okay.
Chef down.
Casualties of war. Wild Amy splashes his eyes with water. Alright. And I will resume cutting the onions. Zoom. Onion cutting. I said pre-zoom. That's a different word entirely. Sometimes we pull the wrong rabbit out of our hat. Sometimes. So, we're going to choppy. And as a matter of fact, I will chop a few things off camera so that you don't have to wait so long, and that will give our other chef a few moments. Ugh. Okay. So we've got most of this chopped up. I'm just working on the spinach now. Like I said, I usually use zucchini as a green in mine, but I'm out of zucchini today. So I thought I'd go using spinach. And you just kind of chop it small. I guess you can chop it big if you want to. It's for eggs.
And just, if you want to, you don't have to chop it at all. You can just drop in whole spinach.
Just drop in the whole spinach plant. If you are a forager, you can go out and pick some wild nettles and use that instead of spinach. There's always that. Okay, so I have a few vegetables prepared. I have, oh, excuse me. Oh, my nose is just, okay. I have, you can see here, I will put in the peppers and the onions and the mushrooms in first, and I'll put the spinach in last because I don't want it to get as cooked as the other things, because I'm going to basically stir fry these things a little bit before I add my eggs. So, moving over to the pan, butter and oil. Just toss in these things. We're scraping, more technically, we're scraping, not tossing.
Goes, I feel like more things would go wrong if we were just tossing them in.
Yes.
Especially if we were cooking with like really oily stuff.
Oh yeah. And I will want to and the spatula and just kind of stir fry these a little bit, saute them. I guess that's the technical word, is sauteing. Yep. If you want them to cook faster, you can put your lid on there for just a couple minutes. But I like to get more of a grilled flavor, which you get with the lid off. You get less of a grilled flavor if you put the lid on, and it traps in the moisture, is what happens. And if you leave the lid off, some of the moisture escapes and keeps your vegetables drier, and then they kind of get a sear where they touch the pan. So, at this point, I have a spinach on me. At this point, you can add some seasoning if you like while you're waiting. I'm going to do a little dash of pink Himalayan salt, because that's what we like. And this is white pepper, oddly enough, not black. There's another spinach. You're attacking me. Okay. Now, if you do leave a lot of moisture in your vegetables by cooking it with the lid on, you will definitely want some flour to kind of soak up a little bit of that moisture before you put your eggs in, or the consistency will be, it won't be quite as fluffy like it should be, and you might have some leakage. Some of the moisture, like wetness, will stay in the eggs.
Yeah, I got a question. What's parsley?
Parsley, it's a cousin to cilantro, and it is a spice that's really good in a lot of things. Its cousin cilantro is kind of spicy, but parsley is real mellow, and you can put it in basically any kind of dish. We could put it in this dish if you'd like.
Let's add some parsley.
Add some parsley. We're good with parsley. Ooh, you add lots of parsley. Parsley is good for you. It's a grain. If you have fresh parsley, you can chop it up, and you can even use the stems. The stems are kind of citrusy a little bit, and so they give just a little bit different flavor than what the leaves do. I like citrus in my food, so you can see how the vegetables are like reducing in size and they're becoming translucent. They're like getting clear around the edges, kind of see-throughy. That's what we like.
Kind of see-throughy vegetables.
See-throughy. And I'm just going to kind of let them sit like this for a second so they get a little bit of that grill flavor from the searing. And I can tell when they're ready to turn because some of these little liquid bubbles will become less and less. And then you can always like lift up an edge and see how it's doing. Leave mine down a little longer.
Yes, and we shall be back when it is time to flip. And we're all
Alright, okay, we have stirred this a couple of times. You can see it's looking really good. And we're going to add the spinach, and we're going to, actually, I'm going to turn off the heat for a few moments and kind of let it cool off because when we stir in the eggs, we don't want them to cook immediately. We want them to stir in real nice. I'll also add just a little bit more oil to this because it will help the eggs not stick. Okay. And put in some more oil. Still a little bit. Make it teaspoon, a couple teaspoons maybe if it looks dry. You want the oil to, it's okay that it's on the vegetables. You want it to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Alright, at this point I can also put in, this is where you would put in the flour. And we just sprinkle it on the vegetables. This is a gluten-free flour made of chickpeas, actually. You can use regular flour, coconut flour, no flour at all. It really doesn't matter. It just adds a little bit to the texture. And it also soaks up the extra liquid if there's liquid in your vegetables. Okay.
and we're rolling.
Now we will toss in the spinach.
Spinach goes in, and then we'll put it back on the stove for a little.
Actually, I think I'm going to just go ahead and stir in the eggs, because when the eggs cook, the spinach will. Some people like their spinach really spinachy. I prefer mine a little greener, less cooked, less wilty, more. To me, it has more flavor if you don't overcook it. So, but it's all about preference. You do what you want, right?
True.
We will need some eggs cracked.
We will need some eggs.
All right. Here are the eggs. Actually, are done with the chopping board, so I'll take it out of the way. Mr. Jamie,
Yes.
you may break eggs. Not that you need permission to break eggs.
Just
And we have lovely country eggs in various colors. Skittles, tasty rainbow.
the rainbow of eggs. So how many eggs are we going to need?
This is a large pan, so I usually do 6 to 8 eggs.
6 to 8 eggs. That's a lot of eggs.
Yes, but you can cut it into 8 pieces, so 8 eggs is perfect, and it's 1 egg for everybody. If you use too many eggs, it gets too thick and it takes longer to cook.
I just gotta break open eggs without having them explode spontaneously.
Yes, you can just toss it back in here. I'll rinse it out and give it back to me. Egg lady, since it's styrofoam.
Breaking eggs makes me nervous when I'm not able to just pull them open easily.
They're fresh eggs, so
It's like an egg bomb. I pull too hard and it explodes and goes everywhere.
yes. Eggs from the grocery store are a little bit older and the shells are a little more hard. But the wonderful thing about country eggs is they're really fresh. These were like laid in the last few days.
Really goopy.
Yes, you like the goopy part. Throw it in there. Yeah,
The egg
that's the
goop.
good stuff. Yeah, you can just put all these eggs in there. That'll be 9. That's good enough. That way we don't have to put one egg in the fridge. That would be kind of silly.
You go in next day thinking you have at least half a carton of eggs, but it's just the one egg.
It's just one egg. And right now we have 1.5 boiled eggs in there, which is a nice surprise if you want fried eggs and you open a boiled egg. But I think I'll make some nice egg salad later. Actually, probably tuna salad with egg.
Do as we say, not as we do, people.
Yes, that's part of the fun.
Unless we're doing it right. Because if you saw what I just did, I just splashed egg in my direction.
Told you some egg bomb.
Egg bomb.
That was a little too much force.
Hey, you broke that one. That's okay. We're gonna stir them anyway.
Yes, yes we are. I'm just gonna point this down because of
All right. Yeah. What's the
all the yolks managed to warp one.
And we will grab a fork out of that drawer.
I need to wash my hands, they're goopy.
Okay. Goopy smurf. Whatever. Alright. I'm going to poke the eggs. Because if you poke the yolks, they stir in easier and you're not like chasing a yolk around trying to kill it. And you can use a fork or a wire whisk or whatever you got. A spoon is ineffective, but I guess it can be used.
If it's what you got to work with.
Or a power drill, maybe, or your toothbrush. If you're in dire straits and you're out in the middle of the woods and all you have is a toothbrush.
I would recommend an electric toothbrush if it's available.
Yes. Not sure if that'll be a whole lot better because it just spins. Maybe better. I don't know.
It's more akin to your electric whisker thing than it is anything else.
Yes. Okay, so we got this nice egginess going. To make sure I have enough oil here. Hand me that grapeseed oil right behind that red bottle of kombucha.
The grapeseed oil.
Yeah. Just because I need the pan a little more oily. Don't worry, this is one of the good for you oils. It is not a bad for you oil. It has lots of good stuff in it. So we're not over oiling. But because I added the gluten-free flour made of beans, this is, and I didn't add very much, this would be considered a low carb if you're low carbing. It does have good calories in it. I'm trying to stay healthy without being overwhelming.
Try to spread the egg around evenly.
Yes. I like to scrape the bowl. Nobody on YouTube scrapes the bowl, and it kind of bothers me because there's like food left in the bowl. Nobody's using them that you throw away.
No one on YouTube scrapes the bowl, and everyone else who are actually chefs and know what they're doing touches their hair.
Yes, I try not to touch my hair, but sometimes things are subconscious, like scratching your nose. I try to use the inside of my shirt when I'm cooking, and I try not to flip my head so I don't get
Try not to just launch hair everywhere.
yeah, get hair and things. I try to keep it back off my face when I'm cooking, or sometimes up completely in a ponytail or something. But anyway, I am just stirring these together like this.
You know, just as I mentioned chefs touching their hair, I caught myself doing it.
Ha ha. Now you have to wash your hands again. Alright. Now I'm going to put this bad on the stove. And put it on, I'll put it on medium for a moment and until it starts getting up to heat, and then I'm going to turn it way down. I usually do this on my hot pad, my little electric stovetop, and it makes it really easy because it goes on low when you turn it off. You have to unplug it when you're done. But and it works really well. You could also put on your cheese at this point, or you can put your mixture cheese in. I like to sprinkle it on when it's pretty close to done, and that way I can see what the eggs are doing. And I just need the cheese to melt a little, and it'll do that on the hot eggs. So
while stuff is cooking and being prepared, being a person who cooks herself, would you mind giving maybe a tip or two about people who are just learning how to cook?
Just learning how to cook.
Or maybe want to be an aspiring chef?
Oh, that would be good. Well, you all want to practice good habits all the time, even when it's just you, because when you're in the kitchen, you're going to act like you always act, and you're going to forget what you're doing if you only stay, like, you want to wash your hands, you want to try not to lick your fingers, stuff like that, because that's real easy to do when you first start cooking for just yourself. You always lick the spoon, you do this, but if you're going to be a chef and cook for others, you want to practice neat habits so that it's automatic. So from the very start, practice neat habits. I would also suggest that you clean up as you go, because there's a really big mess at the end if you don't. And it's no fun to clean up the mess, and then you won't have fun cooking because then you know you gotta clean up the mess later. What else? Any questions?
Amazing, the first side.
Mizzy! Go side, Miss. Go side! She don't want to go side.
So just don't assort cooking with like bad things like having to clean up all together at the end, and try and keep healthy habits.
Yes, that's the two most important things. And don't walk away and leave your stuff. Keep an eye on it. Don't play a game on your phone. If something is, you don't have a timer set, you want to keep an eye on your food. Don't leave a fire going and wander off into some other part of the house, because you never know. Something might fall, the paper towels or a hand towel onto the stove or whatever, and start a fire. So you need to stay pretty close to your food and know what's in the surroundings to do it safe.
Or, if you just don't have good attention span, get an egg timer or something.
Yes.
Some with a really loud ding or an annoying alarm.
Or maybe the alarm on your phone.
Maybe the alarm on your phone.
Yeah, unless you're playing a game that doesn't let alarms happen.
Which would be stupid game design.
Yes. I have a game like that. It doesn't let me turn off it doesn't let me, the alarms happen. And I haven't found the setting for it to see if I can fix it. Ooh, it's so annoying. Anyway. So, we are just waiting on eggs to cook, basically. And it's going to turn into basically like an egg pie. The egg will be thick and fluffy all the way through. And it will make a little bit of a crust. I'm turning mine on low now because it looks like the eggs are they're cooking around the edges. I don't really want to lift the pan lid off because the lid traps in the heat, and that's how it all cooks thoroughly. So you just want to leave it high on medium long enough to start the eggs cooking around to build the crust, and then you turn it way down on low so that the height of the eggs will finish cooking. Now if you put them into the toaster oven or the oven, and you would just cook them until it's cooked all the way through. You could use something like this poker gadget the thing has, and just poke it in there and lift it a little bit and see if the eggs in the middle are done. Or you can use a fork. And you might need to use your spatula at the end if you didn't get quite enough oil in there to kind of coax it out without letting it stick. Let's see. What else?
Okay, last question for this segment. So, let's say you have healthy habits in the kitchen, yet you know not to leave your stuff, or at least go all too far away from it. But let's say, what tips would you have for making this certain kind of food?
Tips for making this certain kind of food. Well, like I said, there's so many ways to make it because it's very bendable to your own flavors and your own taste that you like. But I prefer, like I had said, to grill the vegetables first. That's kind of important because the eggs don't take very long to cook. And so you want to saute your vegetables if you want them to be cooked through. That's why I only cooked some of the vegetables, but I didn't cook the spinach because I didn't want it to cook as long. And so it's really versatile. And try it, experiment with it. Whatever you have in your fridge, you can really use, or on your cabinet. Just whatever you have available for you, especially if you have something in abundance. I wouldn't go too strong on the seasoning because you can always season the top, so careful not to get too much salt or pepper, or it might be too spicy. If you like spice, you can chop up some jalapenos or some fun stuff in there. And I'm not a big super spice person. I like a little spice. Just whatever. And you want to put things in that kind of are good together. I mean, I wouldn't just randomly throw in carrots, although carrots might be fine. Or, you know, good. Never know. I don't know. I've not tried carrots. It could be fun. Potatoes cook longer. You would want to definitely cook potatoes or carrots for a long time before you have the eggs. You want them to basically be done. Okay.
Okay. And one more question, kind of one that we can both answer.
Oh, okay.
So, last video we did brownies, so we did sweets. This video we're doing breakfast foods. So what kind of thing do you think we're going to prepare next?
Well, it makes sense that we would make something like a lunch or a dinner, or something that could work for either.
Kind of start with the desserts, go back up, and maybe loop around.
Maybe.
Of course, though. Well, it depends on how long we can do this before running out of recipes.
This is true. I don't think that we'll ever run out of recipes because there's a whole lot of food to use and a lot of ways to mix it up.
Oh, then. I think while this cooks, and since we've done the question segment, I think we shall leave it here until we are ready for the taste test.
Awesome idea.
And we're on.
We are on. Alright, our eggs are finished. Voila! Viola, if you want to spell it wrong.
Viola.
Viola. Because I'm not French. And, let's see. Ooh. Oh, I don't want to use a knife in my pan because I don't want to cut it.
Cut it, don't want to scratch up the bottom.
Yes.
Because this is definitely going to be a pan used in the future.
Oh yeah, this is my good egg, my big egg pan.
This pan may even be famous.
Maybe famous one day. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the fire's still on.
Oh yes, you can turn that off. Okay.
This way, I gotta go all the way around.
Ta-da! You can see on the bottom it's nice and crusty looking.
Yes, let's
But
set this
it's
back
still
on
soft.
the stove to get it out of the way.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Put his lid back on so he stays hot. For the others. The others. Alright. Oh. You can have the clean fork, and I'll have the one I played with. Alright. So.
This time I'm not going to touch it because it's still hot. Very hot, and I'd burn myself.
And you learn from your mistakes.
Maybe not all of them, but some of them.
Well, eventually.
Eventually.
Telefonio.
The Telefonia.
Alright. I will take a bite and go with the Telefonio. Oh, and we're Telefonio. What do you think?
Well, I'd say that the egg overall does a good job kind of acting as a kind of a breakfast pie for everything that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
The taste is good, everything's been cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like it'd kind of be not radically different, but maybe a little different if you actually cooked the spinach, if that's your preference.
Ah, that's true. It would be quite a bit different. And it would also taste quite a bit different if we had added meat. We chose not to add meat to this one, but it's really good if you have breakfast sausage, or turkey sausage is what I like to use, or bacon. I like turkey bacon. It's also good if just a piece of lunch meat, like a slice of roast beef. I've done that before. Chop it up in there, and it's really tasty.
Overall, if you want something to kind of spice up your breakfast, I'd say definitely go with the loaded eggs.
Definitely. And you could also pour salsa on here, or fun stuff. Ketchup, if you're a ketchup on eggs person. I'm not. I think that's kind of disgusting. But, or sour cream, or yogurt, or whatever.
Very interchangeable, so you don't have to have the same eggs twice.
It's true. And the bonus is when this cools off, it's one of the few things that's actually better cold than it is hot. So it tastes really tasty now, and then later on when I need a snack, I'll have another piece and I'll eat it cold and it'll be amazing.
Overall, I'd say it's kind of a, if I had to rate it, I'd rate it probably a 9 or 10 out of 10. But then again, though, that may be favoritism because we made it.
That's true. That's true.
So, try this recipe out for yourself, see what you think.
Very good.
Until next time.
Thank you.